Good morning and welcome to Learn English Network Book Club. And I hope I can hear Eleanor, Shani, and Hermina. Good morning, Hermina.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi. Okay, we've got echo again. Why?
I can hear you. Yeah, this is
Okay, you're fine, Eleanor.
yeah.
Shiny, could you
Okay.
say hello? Just a little.
Hello. Again.
Okay, and I
Okay.
think, yeah, I can definitely hear my voice on you again, Shiny. Hermina, could you say hello?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Oh no, keep your mic open, Hermina, just so I can test.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
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 Okay, there is an echo, but it's a normal echo from Hermina.
Sorry.
Okay,
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's good. It's good. I like it. Right. Yeah. So Shiny, you and I have got feedback. Reem, you need to join. Oh, hang on, she can't hear me. Reem, you need to join the voice room. Come on, guys. How long have you been doing this? Sessions voice. Hang on. Sessions voice. So, first of all, apologies from Nadia. She's going to try and join us later, but at the moment it's not looking good. So, right now, the reading list from Who Said Hello First, excluding Nadia, who was the first, it's Shiny, followed by Reem, followed by Eleanor, followed by Hermina to read. So I am hoping I'll be able to record and stream this. We are live streaming, and I'm going to try and record it just in case. But fingers crossed, because when I tried this when I was streaming from high fidelity, it was a big, 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 big fuss. Probably because I was in a very extreme video graphics environment. So I was pushing my poor little computer rather beyond its capabilities. Anyway, I will share the footage of that. It was great fun. I loved it. I really did. So, welcome to English Book Club. We are reading Nicholas Nickleby. I think this is the third week, and I hope you've all checked the forum to see where we got up to last week. I was very kind, and I did post it earlier. So you need to have found the paragraph that starts in chapter 2. The kind-hearted gentleman omitted to add that Newman Noggs, being utterly destitute, served him for rather less than the usual wages of a boy of 13, and likewise failed to mention in his hasty chronicle, blah, blah, blah. And Shiny, you are going to start talking about Newman Noggs. Are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent. Then whenever you're ready to start.
Yeah. Okay. Of Mr. Ralph Nickleby and his establishment and his undertakings and of a great joint stock company of vast national importance. Mr. Ralph Nickleby was not, strictly speaking, what you would call a merchant. Eh? I think I think I would. Mm, no, I think we read this part already.
Yeah, I think you're at
Yeah, I
the
think you're at the
wrong part.
wrong part. I marked this page. I think I'm on the right page. Sorry for that. Mm,
I'm just trying to find where
I'm
you
just
are.
trying to find where you are.
Okay, you need to find a bit the kind-hearted gentleman. On my book, it's page 26. I'm not sure where you were reading from. I know, and Shiny thought she was really well prepared, so. But I think you're quite a way. Yeah, you're quite a way off. Have you got it, Shiny?
Give me 1 minute.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. If you do Control plus F in the document, okay, and then type the kind-hearted gentleman omitted to add. Do Control plus F and then search for that phrase. We got dead air time.
Sorry, I'm wasting time. I'll go after Reem. Sorry for that.
Oh, okay, Reem, have you found your place in the book? Or did you think you'd got plenty of time while Shiny was reading? Let me stop the timer.
Yes.
Okay, so Reem, if you could start reading then.
Yes, I can. Yes. The kind-hearted, the kind-hearted gentleman omitted to add that the new man Nog began utterly served him for rather less than the usually weeks of the boy of 13, and likewise failed to motion in his hasty chronicle that his centers rendered him an especially valuable person in place where much business was done, of which it was desirable no mention should be made out of the door. The other gentleman was plainly impatient to be gone, however, and they hurried into the hackney capital immediately afterward. Perhaps Mr. Nickleby forgot to mention circumstances so unimportant. There was a great bustle in Bishopsgate Street whither as they drove up, and it began a windy day. Half a dozen men were taking across the road under breath of paper, burning gigantic announcements that a public meeting would be held at 1 o'clock, precisely to take into consideration the propriety of the Parliament in favor of United Poland improved hot morphine and chromate packing and Kitchell Delivery Company. Capital 5 million in 500,000 shorts of £10 each, which seems were dearly set forth in fat black finger of considerable size. Mr. Bonney elbowed his way briskly upstairs, receiving in his process many low falls from the waiters who stood on the landing to show the way, and followed by Mr. Nickleby. David into a suite of apartments behind the great public room, in the second of which was business looking table and several business looking people. Hurry! I'm sorry, there are many difficult.
So, nice try, Reem. Yes, you made quite a few mistakes, but this is a little bit more difficult than the Robin Hood book. So, a little bit of pre-reading might help you. Okay. So, here you go. Here's your feedback. Don't worry. That's what you're here for. So, the verb is to omit. To omit something, to not do something, to leave it out. Omitted. Try it.
Omitted.
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 It, like it.
It. Omitted.
That's better. Good. Then the next one, if you've got no money, no home, you are destitute. Destitute. Try it.
Destitute.
Very good. I hope that never happens. The next one, silently served. To serve, he served.
Served.
That's it. Good. And most of the VED endings are just unvoiced E. Okay. The next one, very important that you get this every week. Wages. Your wages.
Wages.
That's it. Your money for doing a job. What's that? Okay, the next one is mention. To talk about somebody, to mention them.
I said motions.
Yes. Mention. That's it. And the next one isn't like pasty, it's hasty, because it comes from the verb to hasten, and haste, make haste, hasty.
Hasty.
That's better. Good. The next one is a hard C. It's not like a soft C like church. It's not the ch sound. It's the k sound. Chronicle. Try it.
Chronicle.
That's it. Then eccentric. Eccentric. Yes, a lot of people think I'm eccentric. Don't know where they get that idea from. I don't do the things normal people do. I'm eccentric. Okay, the next one comes from to be taciturn, but they've made it longer. But it's still from taciturn. So taciturn, and then you've got taciturnity. So taciturnity. Try it.
Taciturnity.
Not tilly, T. There's no L there. Taciturnity. Taciturnity. Better. Try and get the T sound, not the T. Your tongue's a little bit further forward in the mouth. Okay? Then desirable.
Desirable.
That's
Desirable.
it. If you desire something, it is desirable. Okay. And then the next one is a phrase that goes together. Out of doors.
Out of doors.
Yes, so it just means outside. Outside the house. Out of doors. Okay. The next one, well, you might need it if you're talking about cars nowadays. A cabriolet.
A cabriolet.
Cabrio. Okay. Cabriolet.
Cabriolet.
Try saying brio.
Perio.
Okay. Cabriolet.
Cabriolet. No. Cabriolet.
Cabri.
Capri.
Olay. Olay.
Olate.
Cabriolet. That's it. Yay. Then you read forget, but it did say forgot, which is the past of forget. Yes. I forgot to do my homework last week. I forgot.
Forgot. Yeah.
Then Bishopsgate.
Bishopsgate.
Yeah, you've got two words there. Don't let long words confuse you. Look to see if you can recognise the words within the words. It will help you. So you've got bishops and gate. Bishopsgate. That's it. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Okay, again, your brain tricked you and you said began, but it actually said being. It's not began, it was being. Yes.
Being.
Good. Then tacking. It's got a CK, not a K. So it's not taking, it's tacking.
Tacking.
Yes,
Tacking.
to tack something onto something. You tack a piece of paper to the wall with a pin tack. Then gigantic. Huge, massive, gigantic.
Yeah, gigantic.
Yeah,
Gigantic.
perfect. And if you get confused about whether it should be think of giant. A giant is gigantic. Okay. Then to make an announcement. Announcements.
Yeah, announcements.
That's it. Good. And again, two words that go together. A public meeting.
Public meeting.
That's it. If you're precise, if you do things precisely.
Precisely.
Very good. Then petitioning Parliament. A little bit of a tongue twister there. To send a petition to Parliament means to ask them to do something. Lots of people are petitioning Parliament about Brexit at the moment. So, petitioning Parliament.
Petitioner Parliament.
There's no R. Say the word on its own. Petition.
Petition.
Not pr. There's no R there. Petition.
Yeah. Petition.
That's it. And petitioning.
Petitioning Parliament.
That's it. Yay. Good.
Thank you.
Then sums. You do your sums when you're doing mathematics. You add things up. You're
Yeah.
doing your sums. Try it again.
Sums.
That's it. Good. Duly. Yes. If something's duly done, it's done in that part of that amount of time. I'll be with you duly as well, you could say. It's quite a useful little word. It's just to follow the correct way of doing things, to do things duly. Okay.
Yeah.
Considerable.
Considerable.
Yay. Good. Briskly.
Briskly.
Yeah, it just means if you're walking briskly, you're walking very quickly and with purpose. Okay. You can talk briskly as well. You can talk in that kind of voice. Okay. Progress, not process. Progress.
Progress.
Progress. Yes, you're making progress.
Progress.
Good. Then dived into a suite of apartments. Not a suit, a suite. There's an E on the end.
Suite, yeah.
Okay.
Dived into a suite of apartments.
Yeah, and dived, there's no... Remember what I said about VED? It's not voiced. Dived.
Dived.
Yeah, so dived into a suite of apartments. Try it again.
Dived into a suite of apartments.
Good. Now, I'm not going to make you say the next one, but it's quite funny, so I'm going to say it for you. United Metropolitan Improved Hot Muffin and Crumpet Baking and Punctual Delivery Company. I'm not sure if I would invest in that company, I'll be honest. Okay, so Shiny, have you found us?
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay, don't worry. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Here, cried the gentleman with a double chin, as Mr. Bunny presented himself. Chair, gentlemen, chair. The newcomers were received with universal approbation, and Mr. Bunny bustled up to the top of the table, took off his hat, ran his fingers through his hair, and knocked a Hackney coachman's knock at the table with a little hammer, whereat several gentlemen cried, "Here!" and nodded slightly to each other, as much as to say that spirited conduct that was. Just at this moment, a waiter, feverish with agitation, tore into the room and throwing the door open with a crash, shouted, "Sir Matthew Parker!" The committee stood up and clapped their hands for joy, and while they were clapping them, in came Sir Matthew Parker, attended by two live members of Parliament, one Irish and one Scotch, all smiling and bowing, and looking so pleasant that it seemed a perfect marvel how any man could have the heart to vote against them. Sir Matthew Parker, especially, who had a little round head with a flattened wig on the top of it, fell into such a paroxysm of bows, that the wig threatened to be jerked off every instant. When this simpleton had in some degree subsided, the gentlemen, who were on speaking terms with Sir Matthew Parker, or the two other members, crowded round them in three little groups, near one or other of which the gentlemen who were not on speaking terms with Sir Matthew Parker or the two other members stood lingering and smiling and rubbing their hands in the desperate hope of something turning up which might bring them into notice. All this time, Sir Matthew Parker and the two other members were relating to their separate circles what the intentions of government were, about taking up the bill with a full account of what the government had said in a whisper the last time they signed with it, and how the government had been observed to wink when it said so, from which premises um, uh, um, sorry, I lost it. They were at no loss to draw the conclusion that if the government had one object more at heart than another, that one object was the welfare and advantage of the United Metropolitan Improved Hot Muffin and Crumpet Baking and Punctual Delivery Company. Meanwhile, and pending the arrangement of the proceedings and the fair division of the The public in the large room were eyeing by turns the empty platform and the ladies in the music gallery. In these amusements, the greater portion of them had been occupied for a couple of hours before, and as the most agreeable divergence pull upon the taste on a too protracted enjoyment of them, the sterner theorists now began to hammer the floor with their foot heels, and to express their dissatisfaction by various hoots and cries. These vocal exertions emanating from the people who had been there longest naturally proceeded from those who were nearest to the platform and furthest from the policemen in attendance, who having no great mind to fight their way through the crowd, but entertaining nevertheless a praiseworthy desire to do something to quell the disturbance, immediately began to drag forth by the coat tails and collars all the quiet people near the door, at the same time dealing out various smart and tingling blows with their truncheons, after the manner of that ingenious actor, Mr. Punch, whose brilliant example both in the fashion of his weapons and their use, this branch of the executive occasionally follows.
Very good. Well done. Okay, good job. Good job. Any questions before I give Shiny her feedback? And welcome, Nadia. You made it. Yay! I will add you to the reading list. So I hope you can stay with us. Good job. Any questions? If you could type no, just so I know you can hear me, that would be kind. No, okay. Thank you. Otherwise, I'm not sure if anybody's actually heard me or not. So, yeah, it helps. Okay, so Shiny. Okay. Your pronunciation is okay on Hackney, but you're saying Hackney, and it's not. It's just Hackney. Try it.
Hackney.
Much better. Good. And then to have a fever, you're feverish. When you've got a temperature, you're feeling a little ill. Okay, so try it.
Feverish.
Good. Well done. Then, sorry, bows. I know you had a whole book of bows and bows. This generally is going to be about bows in this book. They were bowing to each other. A bow, but the verb is to bow. Okay, so bow and arrow rhymes with arrow, and bow rhymes with, I don't know, now? Bow now. How now, brown cow? Okay, so Shiny, bows. Try it.
Bows.
Perfect. Good. Well, I love the way you were thinking about it. It's just a shame you came to the wrong conclusion. Then desperate. There's no eating. It's not ate. It's just desperate. Try it.
Desperate.
Perfect. But separate.
Separate.
Yeah, don't you love English? Okay, I'm going to give you a sentence. Okay, try this sentence, Shiny.
He was desperate to separate his daughter and her boyfriend.
Very good. Okay, so that might help you remember. Indeed. The next one. Oh, and by the way, yes. Next one. I'm going to give you another one. I've just remembered. He was desperate to find a separate room. Okay, so in the version of the book, it's not to separate, it's actually an adjective, so it is separate. Okay, so desperate, separate, but separate when it's a verb. So could you read the second sentence, Shiny?
He was desperate to find a separate room.
Very good. I thought about a separate boyfriend and I thought, no, that doesn't really work. Okay, the next word, from to observe, and it's the past, but it's a silent E, observed. Try it.
Observe.
Good. Then diversions.
Divergence, but this word can be pronounced two ways, right? Divergence and divergence.
I think you're thinking about diverse. Maybe you're thinking of diverse, but you can say diversions. I've heard people say diversions. Okay, but in this context, we're looking at the
diversion.
Okay. Okay. Then the next one is various.
Various.
Yes, when you've got a choice of colours, there are various colours. A word you might not use very often, but it's still in common use. Emanating, to emanate from something.
Emanating. What does it mean? A feeling? A kind of feeling?
So when a committee, for example, gives an order, the order emanates from that committee. Okay. And you emanate, you personally, Shiny, you emanate a confidence in your use of English. Sort of like what comes from within and shows without. Okay, not something you can touch or see generally. Or it could be warmth, I guess, emanating from a fire. But generally it's something a little bit intangible. Okay, she emanated an air of confidence. Okay.
So I use this word for negative feeling. Emanate a nasty place or something like that. No.
Normally it would be from someone, but the place emanated a feeling of dread, maybe, or feeling of horror, you could say. There emanated a nasty smell from the kitchen. A nasty smell emanated from the kitchen, maybe. As I say, it's not a word you would probably use in your day-to-day life. Okay, we'll move on. The next one, quiet.
Quiet.
Yes. So I want you to just say this sentence. Okay, so say that one.
It was quite quiet until Nadia arrived.
Very good. Okay, very good. Well done. The next one, tingling.
Tingling.
Yes, a tingle. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. When you get that tingling sensation, pins and needles in the end of your fingers, tingling, they tingle. And then the last one, ingenious. When somebody is very clever, they are ingenious.
You mean smarter than genius?
It's clever, but it's more than that. It's inventive. So if somebody's ingenious, they're not just clever, as in academically clever. They're able to invent things. They're able to think up new things. All that, and you can describe something as being ingenious, as in it's wow. That's what an ingenious device the smartphone is. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and don't confuse it with ingenuous because they look so similar. Okay, if somebody is ingenuous, they are unsuspecting, they're innocent. Okay. Can you give me the full sentence? Shiny? By the way, I love your new avatar. I just noticed. When did you change your avatar? It's so cute. Okay. Okay, it just means in this context, it's like to put a pile upon, as in to make it less pleasant. Okay. Okay. So it's just to make it less attractive. No. Not often. Not often. But you will find it again. It's that sort of descriptive English that you'll find in literature. Okay. You're welcome. Okay, then. Let's see who's next to read. And I think, oh yes, because Reem's already read. It's all gone the other way around. So, Eleanor, you are the next person to read if you are ready.
Can you hear me? Is this okay? Good. Several very exciting skirmishes were in progress when a loud shout attracted the attention even of the belligerents. And then there poured onto the platform from a door at the side a long line of gentlemen with their hats off, all looking behind them and uttering vociferous cheers. The cause whereof was sufficiently explained when Sir Matthew Papker and the two other real members of Parliament came to the front amidst deafening shouts and testified to each other in dumb motions that they had never seen such a glorious sight as that in the whole course of their public career. At length and at last the assembly left off shouting, but Sir Matthew Papker being voted into the chair, they underwent a relapse which lasted 5 minutes. This ever, Sir Matthew Papker went on to say what must be his feelings on that great occasion, and what must be that occasion in the eyes of the world, and what must be the intelligence of his fellow countrymen before him, and what must be the wealth and respectability of his honourable friends behind him, and lastly, what must be the importance to the world, the happiness, the comfort, the liberty, the very existence of a free and great people, of such an institution as the United Metropolitan Improved Hot Muffin and Crumpet Baking and Punctual Delivery Company. Mr. Bonney then presented himself to move the first resolution, and having run his right hand through his hair and planted his left in an easy manner in his lips, he consigned his card to the care of the gentleman with the double chin, who acted as a species of bottle holder to the orators generally, and said he would read to them the first resolution, that this meeting views with alarm and apprehension the existing state of the muffin trade in this metropolis and its neighborhood, that it considers the muffin boys, as at present constituted, highly undeserving the confidence of the public, and that it deems the whole muffin system alike prejudicial to the health and morals of the people, and subversive of the best interests of a great commercial and mercantile community. The honourable gentleman made a speech which drew tears from the eyes of the ladies, and awakened the liveliest emotions in every individual present. He had visited the houses of the poor in the various districts of London, and had found them destitute of the slightest vestige of a muffin, which there appeared too much reason to believe some of these indigent persons did not taste from year's end to year's end. He had found that among muffin sellers there existed drunkenness, debauchery, and profligacy, which he attributed to the debasing nature of their employment as at present exercised. He had found the same vices among the poorer class of people, who ought to be muffin consumers, and this he attributed to the despair engendered by their being placed beyond the reach of that nutritious article, which drove them to seek a false stimulant in intoxicating liquors. He would undertake to prove before a committee of the House of Commons that there existed a combination to keep up the price of muffins and to give the bellman a monopoly. He would prove it by bellmen at the bar of that house, and he would also prove that these men corresponded with each other by secret words and signs, as Snooks, Walker, Ferguson, Is Murphy right, and many others. It was this melancholy state of things that the company proposed to correct. Firstly, by prohibiting under heavy penalties all private muffin trading in every description. Secondly, by themselves supplying the public generally, and the poor at their own homes, with muffins of first quality at reduced prices. It was with this object that a bill had been introduced into Parliament by the patriotic chairman, Sir Matthew Papke. It was this bill that they had met to support. It was the supporters of this bill who would confer undying brightness and splendour upon England, under the name of the United Metropolitan Improved Hot Muffin and Crumpet Baking and Punctual Delivery Company. He would add with a capital of 5 millions in 500,000 shares of £10 each.
Very good. Well
Oh,
done.
very,
Okay.
very
So
satirical. Yeah,
it's very satirical. The picture I've posted up there is of a muffin man. And yes, they would go around ringing a bell selling muffins. There's even a childhood rhyme. Have you seen the muffin man, the muffin man, the muffin man? You're very unlikely to find muffin men nowadays on the streets of London. But then, yeah, that's how people went to buy their muffins. And we're talking the kind of muffins used in the UK, eaten in the UK back then, not like the muffins in America. Okay, they were more like bread rolls, flattened bread rolls. I posted a picture of a crumpet earlier, smothered in butter, and a muffin was similar shape, but without those little holes to let. I prefer crumpets to muffins, I'll be honest, but you cannot get crumpets in Germany for love nor money. We need this institution, the Improved Hot Muffin and Crumpet Baking Company in Germany. Okay, any questions before I give Eleanor her very short feedback? It was nicely read, Eleanor. Nope. Thank you, Hermina.
There is vocabulary in my document as usual.
Yes, there is. And I've pinned, I think I have pinned Eleanor's document to this text. Okay. So vocabulary for the book, you'll find it under the pinned messages, so you can check Eleanor's Google Doc out from the book. Okay. Okay. Do I make crumpets? No. They're really time-consuming to make, and with German flour, I wouldn't even attempt it because the flour's just not of the right quality or the right gluten content to make good muffins. A friend of mine tried, but they ended up more like pikelets, so they weren't a great success. Anyway, Eleanor, the first one, it's not liqueur, it's liquors.
Yeah, liquors. Yeah, of course.
Okay, there's no
I
qua
don't know.
there. It's just a hard
Yeah,
k sound. Okay,
yeah.
and then you just misread. It's not in, and you couldn't say in every description. It's got to be
No,
of
no.
every description, of
Of
every
every
kind.
description.
Yeah,
Of every kind, yeah.
that's
Of
it.
ilk.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay, very good though. Well done. And the next person to read on my list is Hermina. Hermina,
Okay. Yeah.
are
Okay.
you at the right place in the book?
Yes, I hope so.
Yay! Let's see.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
Yes, I am. I am ready. Mr. Ralph Nickleby seconded the resolution, and another gentleman having moved that it be amended by the insertion of the words "and crumpet" after the word "muffin," whenever it occurred. It was carried triumphantly. Only one man in the crowd cried "No," and he was promptly taken into custody, and straightway borne off. The second resolution, which recognized the expediency of immediately abolishing all muffin or crumpet sellers, all traders in muffins or crumpets, of whatsoever description, whether male or female, boys or men, ringing handbells or otherwise, was moved by a grievous gentleman of semi-clerical appearance, who went at once into such deep pathetics that he knocked the first speaker clean out of the curse in no time. You might have heard a pin fall, a pin, a feather, as he described the cruelties inflicted on muffin boys by their masters, which he very wisely urged were in themselves a sufficient reason for the establishment of that inestimable company. It seemed that the unhappy youths were nightly turned out into the wet streets at the most inclement periods of the year, to wander about in darkness and rain, or it might be hail or snow, for hours together, without shelter, food, or warmth. And let the public never forget upon the latter point, that while the muffins were provided with warm clothing and blankets, the boys were wholly unprovided for, and left to their own miserable resources. Shame. The honourable gentleman related one case of a muffin boy, who, having been exposed to this inhuman and barbarous system for no less than 5 years, at length fell a victim to a cold in the head, beneath which he gradually sank until he fell into a perspiration and recovered. This he could vouch for on his own authority, but he had heard, and he had no reason to doubt the fact, of a still more heart-rending and appalling circumstance. He had heard of the case of an orphan muffin boy, who, having been run over by a hackney carriage, had been removed to the hospital, had undergone the amputation of his leg below the knee, and was not actually pursuing his occupation on crutches. Fountain of justice, were these things to last? This was the department of the subject that took the meeting, and this was the style of speaking to enlist their sympathies. The men shouted, the ladies wept into their pocket handkerchiefs till they were moist, and waved them till they were dry. The excitement was tremendous, and Mr. Nickleby whispered his friend that the shares were thenceforth at a premium of 5 and 20%. The resolution was, of course, carried with loud acclamations, every man holding up both hands in favour of it, and he would in his enthusiasm have held up both legs also, if he could have conveniently accomplished it. This done, the draft of the proposed petition was read at length, and the petition said, as all petitions do say, that the petitioners were very humble, and the petition very honourable, and the object very virtuous. Therefore, said the petition, the bill ought to be passed into a law at once, to the everlasting honour of glory of that most honourable and glorious Commons of England in Parliament assembled. Then the gentleman who had been at Crockford's all night, and who looked something the worse about the eyes in consequence, came forward to tell his fellow countrymen what a speech he meant to make in favour of that petition whenever it should be presented, and how desperately he meant to taunt the Parliament if they rejected the bill, and to inform them also that he regretted his honourable friends had not inserted a clause rendering the purchase of muffins and crumpets compulsory upon a classes of the community, which he, opposing all half measures, and preferring to go to extreme animal, pledged himself to propose and divide upon in committee. After announcing this determination, the honourable gentleman grew jocular, and as a patent boots, lemon-coloured kid gloves, and a fur coat collar assist jokes materially, there was immense laughter and much cheering, and moreover such a brilliant display of ladies' pocket handkerchiefs as threw the grievous gentleman quite into the shade.
Very good. Well done. Okay, so hang on a second. There you go. And any questions before I give Hermina her feedback? Everybody okay? Hermina, I'm not sure if you should have started giggling when they were talking about having an amputated leg. You had me laughing. Luckily, I'd muted my mic because you were laughing, so I was thinking, that's not funny. But yes, it's all very tongue-in-cheek. And yeah, I can kind of understand that. The next bit was hilarious, but that bit with maybe a little bit inappropriate laughter. Okay, so Hermina said no questions. Nobody else has said no questions, so I'll have to presume you're all still awake. Hermina. Okay, the first word is to second. So he seconded, not seconded, that's a different word. He seconded the resolution.
Seconded.
No, not seconded, seconded. Like, can you say second? Like second?
Yes, you say seconded.
Second, yeah. Okay, seconded.
Seconded.
No, not seconded, seconded.
Seconded.
That's better. Seconded the stress is on the first syllable. Yeah. He seconded the resolution.
He seconded the resolution. Seconded.
Much better. Good. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then the next one, expediency.
Okay. Expediency.
Yes. If something is expedient, it means it's very practical. Yeah. Oh, we'll do that because it's expedient. It's more convenient to do that. Yeah. We won't I'm not going to mention Brexit. I refuse to mention Brexit. because it's more expedient not to mention Brexit than to mention it, to be honest. It's much more convenient. Otherwise, we'll waste the rest of the session. Then the next word, inestimable.
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 That's it. Not in esteem, it's im. Okay, inestimable. Okay.
Inestimable.
Very good. That's much better. Good. It means basically too large to even think about. An inestimable number, you can't even imagine how large that number is. So the world debt, I would say, is inestimable. Okay, next one. Periods.
Periods.
That's it.
Periods.
Different periods. Periods of time. Yeah. Periods of silence.
Life.
Yeah. Periods of life. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Then warmth.
Warmth.
Yes. If you're warm, you feel the warmth. And your next one, holy.
Oh, yes. Holy.
Yes. Holy completely. Yeah. Okay. Then the next one is the silent H. Honourable. You did say honour correctly. So if you can say honour, then you can say honourable. It's the same root.
Honourable.
That's
Honourable.
it. Yeah, no need to aspirate the H. Good. Then appalling.
Appalling.
Appalling. Yeah, or that. I know you don't like the or sound, but appalling. Something
Appalling.
really horrific. It's appalling. And then just goes together, all classes.
All classes.
Good. That's fine. You can say classes or classes. Doesn't matter, but it goes together. And then he was wearing patent boots.
Patent boots.
Yeah, what makes boots look patent? Anybody? Yeah, shiny. Anyone got has anyone got a pair of patent boots? Very shiny. Yeah, a varnished, not vanished, varnished surface. Yeah. So what you've written is vanished. You need an R in there, varnished. Yeah, very
Does it mean shiny?
Shiny
Yeah.
boots, yes.
Shiny boots. Patent boots.
That's it. And the last word is grievous.
Grievous.
You'll normally
Grievous.
see it nowadays. Sadly, it's in the news at the moment as well. If you know what GBH means, anybody know what GBH is? No? Grievous bodily harm. That's where you'll normally see that word grievous. Grievous bodily harm. When somebody has been injured criminally, deliberately, it's called grievous bodily harm. Got a big problem in the UK with knife crime at the moment. And a lot of being talked about is being charged with GBH, grievous bodily harm. Okay, and you get 2 smileys. 2 smileys for Hermina.
Okay, I see.
Beneath.
Thank you very much. Beneath.
And determination.
And yeah, I had to think there or D. Determination.
Very good.
Determination.
Very good.
Thank you.
It's always good to think.
So the second part was to laugh, but not the first part.
Yes.
I think I have to really. I think they have taken off his leg, and I had a wrong story in my head. Sorry,
Okay,
it is really not funny.
No, not really.
Sorry, guys, for this.
It was amusing. I was a bit sort of. Okay.
I think so.
Maybe that's the German sense of humour coming out.
Yes. No. I think I have understand something wrong.
I think you misunderstood something. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well done, though. Well read.
Thank you, Lynn.
So Nadia, are you ready to read? And have you found our place in the book? Ooh. Nadia. Ooh, I can hear a lot of crackling. So something's coming through. Crackle, crackle, crackle. Can anybody hear Nadia? Just crackling. Oh no.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there you are. Good.
Great. I hope it will stay.
I do too.
Oh my
Don't
God.
move
Thank
it. Don't move. Just stay very
not-
still.
I try. Thank you for having me. Okay, I'll start before it disappears.
Yes.
And when the petition had been read and was about to be adopted, there came forward the Irish member, who was a young gentleman of ardent temperament, with such a speech as only an Irish member can make, breathing the true soul and spirit of pottery, and poured forth with such fervour that it made one warm to look at him, in the course whereof he told them how he would demand the extension of that great boon to his native country, how he would claim for her equal rights in the muffin laws as in all other laws, and how he yet hoped to see the day when crumpets should be toasted in her lowly cabins, and muffin bells should ring in her rich green valleys. And after him came the Scotch member, with various pleasant allusions to the probable amount of profits, which increased the good humour that the pottery had awakened. And all the speeches put together did exactly what they were intended to do, and established in the hearers' minds that there was no speculation so promising, or at the same time so praiseworthy, as the United Metropolitan Improved Hot Muffin and Crumpet Baking and Punctual Delivery Company. So the petition in favour of the bill was agreed upon, and the meeting adjourned with acclamations, and Mr. Nickleby and the other directors went to the office to lunch, as they did every day at 1:30, and to remunerate themselves for which trouble, as the company was yet in its infancy. They only charged 3 guineas each man for every such attendance. Mr. Ralph Nickleby received sad tidings of his brother, against communicated to him. The reader is informed how he liked Nicholas, who is herein introduced, and how kindly he proposed to make his fortune at once. Having rendered his zealous assistance towards dispatching the lunch with all that promptitude and energy which are among the most important qualities that men of business can possess, Mr. Ralph Nickleby took a cordial farewell of his fellow speculators and bent his steps westward in unwonted good humour. As he passed St. Paul's, he stepped aside into a doorway to set his watch, and with his hand on the key and his eye on the cathedral dial was intent upon so doing, when a man suddenly stopped before him. It was Newman Knox. "Ah, Newman," said Mr. Nickleby, looking up as he pursued his occupation, "the letter about the mortgage has come, has it? I thought it would." "Wrong," replied Newman. "What, and nobody called respecting it?" inquired Mr. Nickleby, pausing. Knox shook his head. "What has come, then?" inquired Mr. Nickleby. "I have," said Newman. "What else?" demanded the master, sternly. "This," said Newman, drawing a sealed letter slowly from his pocket. "Postmark stand, black wax, black border, woman's hand, C.N. in the corner." "Black wax?" said Mr. Nickleby, glancing at the letter. "I know something of that hand too, Newman. I shouldn't be surprised if my brother were dead." "I don't think you would," said Newman, quietly. "Why not, sir?" demanded Mr. Nickleby. "You never are surprised," replied Newman, "that's all." Mr. Nickleby snatched the letter from his assistant, and fixing a cold look upon him, opened, read it, put it in his pocket, and having now hit the time to a second, began winding up his watch. "It's as I expected, Newman," said Mr. Nickleby. While he was thus engaged, "he is dead. Dear me. Well, that's a sudden thing. I shouldn't have thought it. Really." With these touching expressions of sorrow, Mr. Nickleby replaced his watch in his fob, and fitting on his gloves to a nicety, turned upon his walked slowly westward with his hands behind him.
Very good. Well done. Okay, so let's just ask the usual question, to which I would love a reply, guys. Who, if anybody, has a question before I give Nadia her feedback? Thank you, Hermina. Everybody happy? Okay, then. Got some pronunciation feedback and a little bit of advice from me at the end. Okay, Nadia, the first word there is to pour. Poured. Oh, I can't hear you again. Gone. Crackle, crackle.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I
Sounds like
just
you've got
have
a very
to.
loose connection there. So,
Poured.
poured.
Yeah, I said powered. Poured.
That's
Okay.
it. Okay, so if you're wondering what you actually said, don't forget that there will be a recording on YouTube. Okay. Then
Okay.
various.
Various.
Very good. And petition, not pet. Petition.
Petition.
That's it.
Petition.
Yes. Good. And
Petition.
then a hard G. Guineas.
Guineas.
Yes, like the guinea pig.
Not
Oh, which reminds me, I think I do owe you a guinea pig badge on the forum. I'll have to find one. So guineas. It's a £1 and £1 in old money, a guinea. So if it was £10, then that was just 10 £1 notes. But if it was 10 guineas, it would be £10 and 10 shillings. Okay. Nobody uses guineas anymore though, but you will see it in literature again. Okay, zealous.
Zealous.
Yes. I hope you're all very zealous about learning English. You have to be to keep going.
Of course. Zealous.
Good. But to show zeal. Okay, so you've got zealous, but zeal. That's sometimes where people get a little bit confused. Okay.
Zealous.
Then the next one, to possess.
Possess.
Yes, your possessions, but to possess something.
Possess.
Good. And then pursued.
Pursued.
Yes, the stress is slightly different. So it's not pursued, because it's not like a per pound. Okay, it's to pursue. Yeah.
Pursued.
So you've got your stress is on the second syllable there. Pursued. Okay.
Pursued.
Good. Then pausing. Got again that or sound. Pausing.
Pausing.
Yeah, you do it all the time when you're watching YouTube videos. You pause, press the pause button.
Yes. Pausing.
Good. And then this has gone a little bit wrong. I'm just going to see if I can fix it so it plays okay here. I took that from the forum. Now, let me just see if I can find the markdown text. Markdown for Discord. I need the cheat sheet. I really should get it. So it's okay. It's this one. Hang on. I need an asterisk and an asterisk. That should work. There you go. If you notice in the text, the is italicized, and that means you stress it. So he is dead. Not he is dead. He is dead. Okay?
Got it. Okay. He is dead.
Yeah, because he said, my brother's probably dead. Ha ha ha. And then, he is dead.
Yes.
Oops.
It sounds different like that.
It does, yes. Yeah. And then just, this one's a bit difficult, but A cordial farewell. If you're being cordial, cordial can be a drink, but it's also a way of being very polite. A cordial farewell. Try it.
A cordial farewell.
That's very good. Well done.
Thank you. A cordial
I will wish
farewell.
you a cordial farewell in a moment. Okay, very good. And I just wanted to sort of mention, in case you go to Scotland, do not call the Scottish people Scotch. Scotch is the drink. It's a
Okay.
whiskey. You're a Scot or a Scotsman, not Scotch.
Okay. Then Scottish.
Scottish, yes, is fine.
Scottish.
Scot is fine. Scot, he's a
Okay.
Scot. Scotsman is fine, but not Scotch, because that is the drink. And they'll go, that's the drink. I'm near
Okay.
whiskey. I'm near whiskey. I used to live in Scotland. I know they're very touchy about that. But of course,
Yeah.
Charles Dickens back then, nobody cared.
We never know. We might go next month.
You never
So
know.
always be
Exactly. I
careful.
could have saved
Yes.
your life. Or at least saved you from a beating. Oh, Scottish
Or I would-
sarcasm. As a non-native speaker, you can get away with it. But with my posh English accent, I would not get away with it. They would take it as a grave insult. Okay.
Scottish.
So, well done.
Thank you.
They're very touchy on these things, you know. Anyway, well done, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank
We will... sorry, I'm not sure what you mean, Hermina. It gets me to the word swanch or spanch. You wanted me to explain a few posts ago. I think you'll have to ask on Friday TGIF and provide a link, because I honestly can't remember what it was. I'm afraid the network gets so busy for me, and I say things and then I forget what I've said the next day, if not the next hour. So, and we're very glad you could join too, Nadia. It's good. It's all good. Try and get your wobbly connection sorted. It definitely sounds like you've got something wrong with the actual plug of your microphone. That crackling, I recognise it myself. Anyway, so take care. And we will speak, I'm sure, anon. There will be a session, back to basics session in Google Hangouts in about an hour or so. I'm going to go and grab my coffee before that. Okay. See you then. Bye. Take care.
Thank